If your drums sound a bit weak or flat or just too clean, slap this plugin on. It will provide you with instant grit and instant character. This plugin is the Decapitator.
Came like the sun through the rain, took my trouble, eased my pain.
It's one of the most respected analog saturation plugins in the game, and you might think it seems a little bit outdated. Okay, it doesn't have any oversampling or no mid-side or no linear phase, but it is designed to emulate real analog gear. Decapitator is especially known for adding weight to drums and grit to vocals without sounding digital or any harsh. It has been around for a while, but it still punches harder than most modern saturators. So right now I have it, for example, on my drum bass, and as I already showed you, it sounded like this before. It's a big difference, right? But let me go and show you what everything here does. We will start from the left to the right, and the first thing that we are going to see is our input gain, which is going to push it into saturation. Have a close listen, and I will overdo it for you to have an idea what it does. You might think that it makes everything louder, but if you have a closer look here down, right now, for example, we are hitting minus 18.7. And now we are hitting at minus 17.2, and look how much I have driven the drive knob here. I will show you also later how you can use it like this. Now let's go on the punish. The punish button is like a magic button, let's say, because it adds 20 dBs of gain into the circuit. This is where you can go really nasty. Have a close listen to, but I will go and put back the drive and I will go and mix it in. It makes everything so dirty. Of course, this is a bit too much right now. We don't need this, but I just want to show you what the punish does. Here we have the thumb and the low cut, and I will go and open here the EQ curve so that you can also see what we are doing. This is how the Soundtoys, the Decapitator sounds right now in the N style. And if I go here on the thumb and I click it, you're going to see that we have a big boost here on the low frequencies. And if I go and deactivate it again, it's going to go back. Here it is pretty simple. We have the low cut and it does what it says. It cuts the lows. But really important to know is that this EQ happens before the saturation stage. So it shapes how the distortion really reacts. In the middle, we have the tone, which is a tilt EQ. It is centered around 500 Hz, and if I go here left, you're going to see just a small adjustment here that happens. And we have here the output. The output right now, it is in auto mode, which it means how much we drive here, how much input gain that we put here. We are going to take out also the same out. Now let's go on the output. The output here, it is right now on auto mode, so it means how much here I'm going to drive. You're going to attenuate from the output. If you want, you can go and deactivate it, and it will stay only on the drive. Or you can just go here, lower the output. And the mix, this is your best friend. For example, you can go and use the mix knob if you want to blend the tri-signal back in for a punchy parallel effect.
The sun through the rain, took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name, grateful, and I'll never change.
You can hear right away that there's a big difference there, even if we push so much the drive, but we dial down the mix. Quick note, if this kind of saturation breakdown is helpful, I go way deeper in my full mixing course at Audio Waves Academy. I walk through how I process everything from start to finish if you want to improve your mastering skills. Link is below, check it out if you want. Now, this is something that a lot of people have no idea what it does. And I am talking about the style. We have here 5 different styles, and I'm going to explain you now one by one what everything does. So right now I have it on full mix, on 100% wet, and the drive is on 0, but still you are seeing that something is happening here on the curve. We are having a small dip here and a little bit boost here and there. So let's go from the A. The A style uses 12AX7 tubes. It is like a Manley Vari MU. It is really smooth, warm tone with a subtle upper mid dip. Here it's not so obvious, but if I go and drive it, you're going to see that we have a much deeper here. These frequencies are scouted out, and we have a big boost here on the lows. And if I go and bring it back, we have here just a small peak at 20k, like 3 dBs, and a small low cut. The A style works really great for a tape-like neutral sound in your mix bus. Now, if I go here on the E, now let's go and put it also on the drive a little bit more. Right now, we are seeing that we have a bigger here boost input that comes here from our input on the lows, on the mid lows here, and then until 100 Hertz, we have a lot of boost here, and then from 100 Hertz until, let's say, 6K, we have such a big scooping here, which is taking out the mids from the track right now. For example, right now, have a listen. I will go between A and E, and I will leave the drive on the same. And you're going to hear right away that on the E style, we have much more power on the low end.
Came like the sun through the rain. Took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name. Grateful, and I'll never change.
And if you have a closer look here, you are going to see also that the output also changes here when I change from the A to E. If I go from A, we have not so much louder output in comparison with the E. I find this one could work like really well if I go and put it just like in the channel on my kick. Look how much right now I am boosting here on the drive. If you want this more kind of a dynamic low end, this could really work really well on your kick or on your 808 or on your bass. Now here we have the N. It is one of my favorite, to say the truth, and it acts like a softening limiter on signals over 6 dBFS. Here if you have a look, we are going to see again that we have a steep here on the highs, and this is the only style that you're going to see that it has some high cut there. Everything else has a high boost here, and also the A, the same thing. And this is what I really like about the N style, because when you saturate it, it doesn't boost so much the highs, because it does make also the track like irritating in these high frequencies. Now let's go on the next two styles. The T stands for triode and the P stands for pentode. If I go here the triode, you're going to see that we have a high boost here, and if I go on the P, we are not having such a big boost here, but we have much more body here in comparison with this one here. The thing we like this, like the T, it is brighter but with even harmonics, and the pentode is warmer and it has some more odd harmonics, but they have something in common, that both of them here, if I go and activate the T again, you're going to see that we have some boosting here on the low end, and here we have much more. And in my opinion, I find the T and the P great for adding color, where you can go and use it on the desired tone that you really like. For example, let's go here and try with the tone. If I go here, for example, on the drive, you're going to see that it changes like this, and on the P, something similar, not exactly, but almost the same frequencies dip here on the T and the P. Let's go and bring it back.
Came like the sun through the rain. Took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name. Grateful, and I'll never change. Came like the sun through the rain.
example, right now on the P we have much more distortion and we don't want that. Now I'm going to show you the real source that a lot of people do not use it like this, but I find it sometimes really helpful. I'm going to bring back the drive and I want the punish button and I'm going to mix it in. And let's also listen to the track again.
Came like the sun through the rain. Took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name. Grateful, and I'll never change. Came like the sun through the rain. Took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name.
Can you hear the fullness? The snare right now grabs your ear right away, and that is Decapitator that is pulling up these low mids and smashing transits without killing the dynamics. In my ears, it glues the track and it gives also a lot of vibe and a lot of movement. That's the analog vibe right there, and even at low drive, for example here.
Came like the sun through the rain. Took my trouble, eased my pain. Every day I say your name. Grateful, and I'll never change.
Adds this glued together feel to your mix. So if your drums are feeling thin and your mix is sounding a bit too clean, you can go slap this plugin. Even a small touch like we did here can bring your track to life. If you found this video helpful, drop a like, sub to the channel and let me know also in the comments which is your favorite saturation plugin. By the way, you can go here in this video if you want to learn more about how you can go and use the Crafter plugin on your master bus. Believe me, the results will be amazing if you know how to use it. See you there.